to Matt from Maui Fish Delivery. We have here a beautiful 20-pound Shibi. It's actually a yellowfin tuna. There's a couple interesting things about this fish. We saved it for dinner for ourselves and some friends. Actually has a cookie cutter shark, and those are little sharks, and they got very sharp teeth, and they just clamp on in the middle of the ocean somewhere, and they take a chunk out of the fish. It doesn't devalue the fish. There's nothing to be worried about. I like to just cut a little bit around it, so it's not in the fillet. But sometimes all the fish have them, sometimes none have them. So if you ever buy a fish from us, don't be alarmed if it has this, which is a cookie cutter. I have friends that are really good at cutting these fish. I'm gonna show you how I do it, and we'll go from there. So I like to turn this ahi right up on its head there, and it's got some bones in the backbone here, and it's really thick, tough skin here with a little bit of bones. So I just start from the tail. It would probably help if my counter was lower, and I just kind of skin the top off. Okay, it's off. And it's super thick skin. It's got tough bones all up in here, and let's see, I'll get something to throw it in. Okay, now you can make your cuts, and it's easier to get your knife along the backbone. And it's the same way I showed some of you did the mahi. I do a deep cut here, right along the collarbone. You kind of feel where it is. You'll get better with time. Flip the fish over, go around the fin here, go shallow where the belly is, kind of a deep cut right there to break the bone. And then we just run our knife right along the bones of the fish. There's a little bit of bones here, no big deal, I'll cut them out later. Cut the tail. And I just go like this. And then I just angle my knife down and do the same on the other side. We got a nice chunk, nice loin of fish. I leave it on just to kind of prop the fish. Flip it over this way. You see how that slab actually supports the fish. And I just run it along the backbone again. Then I make a deep cut here. Go around the bone, the fin, shallow cut. I just break that bone right there, it's a thick bone. And then I try and get it to the center line on this cut. Same thing, some cartilage and thin bones in the back, and then the bones get a little thicker in the center. And then I run the knife along the backbone the other way. And you have a nice loin. So if you take a look at this meat, sometimes you don't get a perfect fillet. There's still meat there, so you can take a spoon and cut it out. I just take a line or a knife and I just cut along the backbone so it peels off nice and easy. And then you can make some really good poke with the spoon meat here. Just scrape it off just like that. And that's really delicious sashimi. I like to mix like mayo, sriracha, and make it like a spicy tuna roll. Bowl, put it there. Sometimes your cuts are perfect and you don't have it. No sense wasting any meat. Okay. That's how you get your spoon meat. Now that you have the loin cut, just cut along the edge there. Come over here and I do the same. All right, it's the same idea as the mahi. We obviously don't want any bones, so if you see a little bit of bone, you can cut it out. There we are. I go right in the center, make a line. I try not cut it all the way. You can just cut it to the skin. That's actually one way to do it. We'll just cut the skin off right there. Some people do this with the fish on, or when the loin's on the fish. I go down this side, and I do the same. Kind of make a cut. Try and get it close to the bone. You gotta kind of cut the skin hard. I'll show you a different technique on the next section of this fish. All right, this one I'll do a little different technique. We'll just cut down the center. Right there. And then I'll go this way. I'll cut down the center. And then I'll angle the knife. Because sometimes cutting the skin is hard. It's like some people do it while it's on the fish. They actually quarter the fish. So you have 4 loins like we're doing. Different ways to do it. And then I usually cut right here on a fish about this size. Go down, then I angle my knife. And I just slowly kind of go along the skin like that. You don't want to go too deep, just shallow enough. No, you get it like that. So there's the cookie cutter. What I would do, you know, you lose a little bit of meat, but not much. And just cut it out. And that's it. The dogs are waiting. Give them a couple good grades here. Set it aside on a paper towel. Then I'll go back here and I'll just go right to the skin, and then I'll angle my knife and kind of just cut it along the skin. Anything you don't like, you know, whatever this is, I just cut right there, cut it out. You can also, now on this section, sometimes instead of cutting it in half, if you want a longer piece, you can start in the back. It's just easier when there's only half of the fish on there. Bone there, cut the bone out. So as you can see, we got a beautiful loin of ahi. There's this dark meat. Some people like it. I don't. If you want the fish to last longer, you want to cut it out. I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. Alrighty. So you have this loin of ahi here, and you want to get rid of this bloodline. So, and you don't want to lose too much meat. So what you can do is you can start slowly, and it almost will peel out sometimes. Just kind of edge it out. Yeah. And just see how it almost peels off. Right there, it just peels out. Like I said, I'm particular, but some people absolutely love the flavor. Just a personal preference. The meat will last longer though when you cut the bloodline out. Yeah, and so that's sort of what it'll look like. Do one more here. You can see on the upper section of the fish, it's a little bit less. And you can see where it goes in. Yeah. And then right here you have pretty much perfect sashimi grade fish. There's different ways to cut that, but you can go like this, and you can grill it, sear it, you know, for an ahi salad. You can cut the top off and then cut it in half, and you can sashimi it. It's completely up to you. We have one more fish here. We have the skin on this one, and it's the same thing that we did on the others. You want to loin it for the whole piece. Start in the back. And just angle your knife. There's a little bit of bones right here, so I just cut them out. And that's what it should look like. And that's it. That's how to fillet an ahi. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy eating it.